touch the pad and it should be everybody in the world. Now then, crew, and welcome back to the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel. Now, this behind me is Tool Girl Lilli's farm bike that we put together over Christmas for her. Oh my word! Oh,
yeah! That was so quick!
bloody hell!
We're running.
That is awesome! Great job done!
And why was it a scratchy?
Cool, well we can leave it running. Do you want to, we'll go back to the bench, yeah?
Right.
All right.
Yeah!
Good job! And she's been busy riding it around the paddock, having lots of fun, and probably falling off lots more times.
I got it! I got it!
Holy moly! She's mobile! She's mobile! Oh, damn! Unfortunately, some little ruffian, scallywag, call them what you like, decided they also wanted to have a little ride of the bike, but they didn't have a key to start the bike up. So they decided to use a screwdriver. Little bastards, aren't they? So Lily said, hey, can you fix the bike up? I can still start it using the key, but it's really hard to get it into the ignition barrel and it's just a bit of a problem, and she just doesn't like to be reminded of the fact that somebody else has been on her bike. Now, fair dues, they did put it back in the barn where it was stored, you know, rather than just take it home and keep it forever. But the sheer fact that when somebody's ridden your bike and they shouldn't have been riding it, it's not a very nice reminder to see the ignition barrel all chewed up every time you get on it. So I had a rummage around on some of the other Suzuki, what is it, a DR200s dual sport, and I found another ignition barrel with a good key, and you can see it's not chewed up at all. So hopefully we can get this one installed, and now sure, Lily's going to have a key for the ignition and a separate key, yes, a separate key for the fuel cap. She'll have to keep the original key for that, so I'll have to label them up, but at least she's not going to be reminded of that bloody scallywag every time she rides it. Okay, so I'm going to pull off the headlight cowl, probably the speedo and stuff's got to come off if I remember rightly, and on this bike, from memory, when we were working it before, the two bolts that retain this steering, the actual ignition barrel itself, the mechanical part to the bike, are what's called a security bolt. So when you tighten them up, the heads snap off. So I'm going to have immense amounts of fun getting them off that bike to fit this one. This one actually, however, had cap head bolts, so it was nice and easy to remove. So whoever changed this in the past and used cap heads, thank you very much. Saved me a ton of problems. Now on this one, have a little look. We've got, obviously on this barrel, you've got the off position where you can take the key out, you've got the on, and you've also got a steering lock. So hopefully Lily's going to get the hang of using that next time. And the steering lock, you've got to push the key in the off position. There we are, look, push the key in, and then you'll see that little thing just pop out there, look. So it actually could do a bit of spray in there, I think. It's a little bit tight, but also this is the one that I actually robbed the electrical part, the switch gear from, so we'll have to transfer that from that one onto this one, back onto this one. Things I have to do. Well, at least it stopped raining. Okay, crew, let's crack on. Dum, 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 dum. It's one of those days. Perfect. Hey, why can't people just buy their own motorcycles? Eh? Trying to steal other people's. Mind you, they can be forgiven to some extent. This was a pretty cool bike, and they did only ride it, so obviously they appreciate just how good a motorcycle it really is. Right, let's get that unplugged, get it out of the way, somewhere safe. God, these are always really tight. There we go. Okay, what's next? Well, there's the prize. Jeez. Actually, I wonder if they are just cap heads. Right, going in for the freehand here. Normally they are what have we got up there? That looks like a cap head to me. That does not look like it's a security bolt. I was wrong. Normally they are. Brilliant! Oh, right, let's get this thing unplugged. Let's find a plug for it, which is that wire there. So it's just the two wires. Green plug. Remind me, it's the green plug. I should know by now, shouldn't I, really? Right, I'll pull that through, because we'll do all the swapping across on the bench. Now, we need a number 5 Allen socket, and something pretty damn small, because it's quite tight to get in. Okay, one of them, and we're going to need something to hold it with. That's not that one. Geez, where is it? Yeah, look, that's what we're after. One of those, and the number 5. Perfect. Right, let's see if we can get in with this. On undo mode, obviously. That's that one cracked off. Wow, so chuffed that it's not got the security bolts in it. I was sure it had security bolts in it. Must be a different bike. So many bikes. Nearly there. There we go. Right, bolt number 1 in the special bolt trough. Now we'll stick it down here. It's bound to end up on the floor. Right, see if we can get into the back one now. Oh yeah, well done Suzuki. Good job. My sausage fingers don't fit too well in here. Would have been a lot easier with the forks out when we did the head bearings, wouldn't it? Jeez. There we go. Perfect. That was easy enough, wasn't it? Okay. Let's get that down and pull that off. There should be a little screw holding that on. I've got the spare one off the other one, so we'll install that correctly now. Right, back to the bench. Okay, so first job I think is to remove the switchgear from the old ignition rail. You see how badly chewed up that is now? Yeah, not good, is it? Seriously, people, buy your own motorcycles, honestly. Winds me up. I had a bike stolen years ago, a little Yamaha DT125R 2-stroke power valve dirt bike thing, trail bike. It was bloody good fun. I had it 9 months. I did 17,000 miles on it in those 9 months, and then somebody decided they wanted it. I never saw it again. The police knew exactly where it was. It was on a gypsy site just around the corner, and they were seen on CCTV camera stealing the bike. But the police didn't want to know. Oh look, there's a metal plate missing. Right, we need to move that as well then. Let's just see if we can get that out. Come on, metal plate, you can do it. Right, so that needs to go in there. Right, well, before we do that, let's get rid of the cobwebby stuff. No big spiders. Excellent. Jeez. Lovely. They live everywhere, don't they, these spiders? Okay, we're going to spray some grease in there, I think. So we're going to use some of this stuff from Forge. I'm not pronouncing that in German, but it is spray grease. Give it a bit of a shake. We'll just bang a bit of that in there because it's not the best. There's this whole thing. It's been sat out in the rain for a while, so we'll just stick a bit in there as well. Just down there. Let it soak in. Work it in. Now then, off, push, push, twist. There we are, look. Right. Much better. Right, we better stick some service spray down there as well. In fact, hang on. I'm sure there's some better stuff than that. Hang on. Bear with me. I reckon this stuff, which has got graphite in it, will be even better. So, we'll get rid of the old one, don't need that anymore. Let's just pop some of that in there. You can see the black graphite coming through, can't you? Great stuff. Let's get the old key. Just work that in a bit onto into the lock. Oh, it'd be like a new one, wouldn't it? Perfect. Right, key out. Let's go for a bit more spray grease. Just give it another layer. Cool. Jeez, it's pouring down the rain outside now. Now then, that went in there, didn't it, from memory? So we're going to pop that out. Oh, God knows why it's missing. I wonder if it's fallen out. It's somewhere in the garden, no doubt. It's where the bike was parked up. Okay, see if we can push that down into place. It's a good fit. Mr. Young, it's upside down. Hang on a minute. That didn't work, did it? Need a different screwdriver. Oh, screwdrivers are the best, aren't they? Looks like I've even bent the plate. What an idiot. There we go, look. Right. Let me straighten that out. There we go. Good old Vice, back to the rescue. Yes, there's a little tiny lug there, look. And there's a little mark on the casting, so we'll put it in the correct way. Oh, look at that. So easy. Okay, now we also, I'm going to spray a bit of that graphite spray in here as well, just around there. We'll stick a bit of grease on those terminals, try and stop them from corroding a bit. Okay. Now we're in the, oh, it's dropped out again. We're in the off position. I'm pretty sure that this is in the off position. Let's just try. On, off. And that's the lock. So yes, there we go, look. So we're in the off position. We'll just chuck that back in again. How annoying. Okay. And now we can just pop that over there. There we are. Get the two little screws. Pop those in. Such an easy fix. But a job that's been waiting to be done for a couple of weeks. So my apologies, Tool Girl Lilli. I know I'm in big trouble with you at the moment. I'm not going to explain why. Right, stick that in there like that. And then we'll just test it again. Oh yeah. Perfect. Right, let's go and try it on the bike before we bolt it up. Make sure it's all working correctly. We'll just plug it into the loom, see if the lights come on, and then we can fit this proper. What we can do though, in the meantime, is we can stick this back on. This being the lights, stick that on there. Just while we're at the bench. Now, just so you know, because this bike was missing some parts, This little metal washer goes in there. I call that a top hat washer. It goes on there, and then it obviously holds the wiring harness, which is very important, which it wasn't doing before. Stick that on there, and then we'll do that up as well. Fantastic. Right, key in, back to the bike. Right, said Fred, so this one plugs into the blue for the lights, telltale lights that is. Just stick that in just for now. And then we've got the green one for the ignition itself. There we go. Okay, well, let's see if we get some lights. Jeez. Okay, ignition on. Oh yes, neutral light is lit. Fantastic. Okay, let's get it fitted in proper. Right, we'll just disconnect. Do we need to? Let's have a little look. I reckon we can do it in one go. I'll leave the wiring connected professionally. Wow, rain's coming down. Right, that's one bolt half in. This one's a tricky one. We've got a wiring harness sort of in the way here. Come back. Right, so I reckon this is going to help. Nice flexible drive. Let's give that a go. Where's the sausage going? There. Pop that on there. Stick that on there. Let's see if we can make that work. Tool for the job. Perfect. Absolutely amazing. Honestly, you can make your life so much easier if you're having the right tools. Okay, stick that one in there. Right. Ooh, come back. Always forgiven. Now they're only an M6, so we're not going to go mad on the old Titan. That's that one. And now the question is, it has been stood a while. Is he going to start for us? Let's find out. Ignition on, and we're going to have some fuel, I suppose, as well. And a bit of choke, in neutral, pull the clutch in. Fantastic. Well, there you go, it's done. We replaced the ignition barrel. It's dead easy on these bikes, if you know how. So, you know, there's no need for you to pay extortionate amounts of money to your local dealer to replace your ignition barrel when some little ruffian decides to do that to it. Now, obviously, that's a bit different when it's a transponder type key stroke ignition barrel setup, you know, where the key has a little chip in it and gives out a signal to the barrel. That's far more complicated and usually requires some kind of recoding of the new keys stroke new ignition barrel. So you can't really do that yourself very well. when it's an old basic bike like this, as long as you can get the old 2 bolts out of there, and I was hoping to show you today the technique of removing those security bolts. I didn't have to. My technique is either just drill the heads off, or if you get a really small, sharp center punch, you can sometimes get right to the edge of the bolt and give it a little tap tap, and it'll start to loosen it off. They're not normally very tight, and they don't usually have thread lock on them, so you can usually get them out quite easy once they've started to move. Okay crew, well I know Tool Girl Lilli is going to be very happy. I do also have some more work to do on this bike. You'll notice that the rear end has no indicators or tail light. I've got the indicators, they've arrived. The tail light was the wrong one, so now I've got the right one coming. It's come all the way from Japan, it's now here in New Zealand, and it should be here in the next few days. So those will be going on. I've chucked some mirrors on the handlebars, and the bike will be going for what we call a warrant of fitness. And then Tool Girl Lilli can ride it on the road. How cool is that? We'll be able to go for a ride out somewhere. Great fun. Okay crew, well if you enjoyed the video, why not click on the subscribe button. You'll see a little gear icon turn up. Click on the gear icon, and then you can tick the box and turn on notifications. Our friends at YouTube will send you an email as and when I upload new videos. You'll also find me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. You can communicate through any of those portals. There's also my email down the bottom. Feel free to flick me an email if you like. And of course there's a Patreon page for all the patrons out there, or people that want to become patrons, or maybe a bit of inquisitive about what that's all about. Drop onto that. There's a link to that, and the PayPal service on the home page. If you decide to become a patron, it will give you additional access to other stuff on the Patreon page. Okay crew, well until next time, thanks for watching. Cheers, over and out. And we get the flip up again.
Oh.
Really.